kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Welcome in, everybody, to Sim Racing Media tonight. Racers Elite is here at Atlanta in the Truck Series. Looks like it's going to be a great showing tonight. These guys have 17 trucks that are in the practice session. Pretty big field for their Tuesday night league. I am Mike Demoney up in the booth. We'll go ahead and take a look here. See if we can at the points. Points right now, Andrew John Smith leading them with 1,246. Andrew Teft not too far behind. And then Jake Van Wazer, Alex Teft, Joshua Neal, Dennis Kane, Daniel Honeycutt, Kinsley Smith, Michael Smith, and Corey Corral round out the playoff standings here. This is a little different than some of the other leagues you've seen. These are the Winston Cup Series points, so it only matters if you lead a lap and where you finish. So with that being said, it looks like they're getting into their cars for qualifying. Let's see. You have Daniel Honeycutt out here. That Mahindra 72 Ford looks to make his way around the track. It is the new configuration here at Atlanta, so we're going to see a lot of super speedway type drafting here. We'll see if the high line is going to be the right line, or if somebody else finds a way to weave their way through. Daniel Honeycutt with a 32.42. See, like David Davis out on track in that 7 machine. John Schellenblockler, a 32.51. David Davis, a 32.71. Like Timothy Hoke in that tied machine's going to roll through here. Let's see what his first lap is. First lap of 32.76. Daniel Honeycutt ran a little bit faster that second time by. Put that Ford out there a little ways closer to pole position right now. Until Schoenbachler outdid him by the slimmest of margins here. See who else is on track here. Looks like Jesse Fox is rolling through in that 69. I believe it's going to be Dollar General this week. Rolling through. Fox up there with a 32.75. Timothy Hope comes through on his second lap with a 32.41. See if Fox can go faster the second time through. Uses up all the track. $32.27, good enough for pole right there for Jesse. Kinsley Smith basically matches him, so it'll come down to thousandths of a second separating those two for the pole position here. Gary Madu rolling through in that KISS 63 Chevy. Evening, Joshua. 33.16. 32.28 for Gary Madu on his second lap. Dustin Rogerson, 32.47. Kirby Wayne Scott up there at a 32.49. Jake Van Wazer up there right now sitting with 32.35. Going to see if he can go a little faster on his second lap. Uh, 32.32. Kirby Wainscott just crossing the start-finish line in that number 10 Toyota. 32.35. Burwell just finished his first lap, 32.54. Yeah, that's all right, Joshua. They were out there. They had fun. Sounds like several drivers in this league had fun out there as well. So maybe we'll see what else we can do. We're trying to make that a annual event for Tony. Crowell there with a 32.35. Good enough for 8th right at the moment. Still have a couple heavy hitters left to go here. Austin John Smith getting ready to roll. Andrew Teft out there in the 98 Ford Soda Sense machine. See what he does first time by. 32-37. Austin John Smith rolling through first time. 32-35. Let's see, we've got, like Alex Teft is going to be the next one to come through. Home Depot 43 Toyota come to that start finish line. (32-46). And as we were watching that, Andrew Teft with the 32-34. Austin John Smith jumps up to P4 with the 32-31. This is going to be a tight battle here, as all of these drivers are pretty close to the similar times here. Second time by. A little faster with the 32-35. Joshua Neal jumps up there. Didn't see his first lap, but that second one was a flyer. 32-30 up to P4 right now. Only a couple drivers left to go. Michael Smith, first time by, or second time by, a 32-32. We got Dennis Kane and Jeremy Carter left to go. It looks like Jeremy Carter is getting ready to roll off. Jeremy starting his first qualifying lap here. Should be able to get this one in. Probably won't get a second, as there is less than a minute left in the qualifying session. And he did just get that one in. A 32-51. Looks like Dennis Kane's the only one that's not going to throw down a qualifying lap here. He's not going to make it out of turn 4. So that will do it from the qualifying session. These guys get into their rides here. Got Jesse Fox on the pole. Kinsley Smith just to his outside. Next in line, you got Gary Madu and Joshua Neal. Austin John Smith, Jake Van Wazer, Michael Smith, John Schollenbachler, Andrew Teft, Daniel Honeycutt. Then we go back to Kirby Wayne Scott and Alex Teft in row 6. Row 7, Corey Crowell and David Davis, Timothy Hoke and Dustin Rogerson in row 8. Row 9 is Jeremy Carter, and Dennis Kane. Good evening, Sarah, as always. So here they go, getting ready to roll through. Yeah, sir. Dennis didn't run a qualifying lap. Basically, he decided that he wanted to start at the back of the field. You'll see that sometimes at these super speedway type tracks. They try and basically start at the back to try and avoid any of the carnage that's in front of them, if it happens. You'll also see that at like road courses or something like that. If they're not very good, they'll elect to start from the back and just kind of ride around. But yeah, you can race without qualifying. Jesse Fox with the button on this initial restart. It's going to hit that Geico restart zone. Madhu's all over the back, gives him a little shove. And Jesse Fox is down and away. They head off into turn one. Inside line is a lot closer together than that outside lane. You got Fox, Madhu, Smith, and Van Wazer there on that inside lane. Neal jumps down as Andrew Teff jumps out of line and is going to fade towards the back, as he will now be back towards back with Dennis Kane. Jesse Fox moved to the highs line and is fading back a little ways. Going to let those guys on that inside lane kind of run through here as they get lined up. It is a long race. We have plenty of time. It looks like Joshua Neal gets kind of shuffled out there a little bit. They got Madhu, Smith, Wazer, and Kinsley Smith. Jesse Fox was able to get down to that bottom lane as they roll around here. John Schollenbacher hanging with him. Michael Smith also up there. And then we got about a half-second gap back to Daniel Honeycutt, who's kind of basically in the middle of these two groups, kind of needs to either, I don't know, it's in the almost no-win situation. You want to kind of stay up there with the lead pack cars, but you don't want to start fading too far back and let the cars behind you catch you either. Michael Smith just ran the fastest lap of the race with a 30.48. As now they are side by side up front, 2 by 2. They go through turns 1 and 2 and down the backstretch. Schollenbacher got down onto the apron, going to try and push his way back up on track, and he will do just that. Jesse Fox stuck in the middle, not really running clear on the red line that you see that inside line go. Madhu gets a little loose from Van Wazer and almost gets upset there, but everybody checks up and everybody's all right. But that's going to allow that outside line of Austin, John Smith, and Kinsley Smith to pull forward just a little ways. But with 3 cars on the inside lane, they are battling back. And it looks like Van Wazer's getting a little impatient here with the Canuck in that 63 machine. You can see it more when they come off the corner. Van Wazer carries a little bit more speed and has to wind up checking up just a little bit as Madhu slides up and almost gets door to door with Austin John Smith there. They are battling hot and heavy right now, and you have 3 Smiths on the high side, and you got Madhu, Van Wazer, and Fox down on the low side. Schollenbacher trying to creep in there as well. I mean, we are set for 101 laps. There is 50% fuel, so I'd imagine we're going to see basically 25, 30 lap pit stops, depending on how it all works out here. As Madhu gets loose again, Van Wazer almost sends him into that outside wall as they're just checking up a little bit, bouncing back and forth. Two by two still, almost two by two through 3 rows here as Michael Smith and Jesse Fox are closing in on that group of 4 up there. And then you have a few single cars as John Schloenbachler, Daniel Honeycutt, and Joshua Neal are down on that low side. Alex Teft up on the high side. Looks like he's going to have the 7 of David Davis with him. Honeycutt slides down to the inside as all of a sudden Jesse Fox lost a little bit of speed, elected to go out to the high side, and is now running a little bit loose there. Van Wazer, Kinsley Smith in row 2, Madhu and Austin John Smith row 1. They're just battling out hot and heavy here. Now we're almost 2 by 2 through the first, say, 5 rows. John Schloenbachler trying to get up behind the 19 of Van Wazer. Van Wazer is still all over that back bumper. We're going to see if these guys have to try and get some air to the nose of those trucks, as they have been pushing hard since the drop of the green flag. These first 4 trucks are not letting anybody get out of the way. They're staying right together, pushing each other. One leads one lap, the other one leads the next as they're battling through 12 laps right now. And now we are under caution. Let's see what happened. Like it was back mid-pack or so. We got Jesse Fox, David Davis, Michael Smith maybe. Oh, looks like Michael Smith got up, slowed down. Jesse Fox really had nowhere to go. Kind of bumped him there. And sends him into the wall. David Davis didn't have anywhere really to go as well. Dennis Kane gets into the back of Fox. Looks like Tide Machine might have made it through. Dennis Kane also hits the nose of the 7. Seems like a rough deal there for Dennis Kane. On board right now. See what happens from his point of view here. Yeah, just nowhere really for him to go. You'd hear him let off the throttle and try and roll through, but so a couple different pit strategies are playing out now. We got the first 4 drivers. Austin John Smith, Gary Madhu, Jake Van Wazer, Daniel Honeycutt, all sending About 7 seconds in their pit box. Probably getting topped off with fuel. Then drivers behind them, Kinsley Smith, back to David Davis, all spent 14 or more seconds in their pit stop trying to either get use their fast repair and get fuel and tires. Then you have some guys like Corey Corwell, Timothy Hoke, Jesse Fox, all spending an extended period of time in their pit box trying to get fixed up there. Yeah, that's exactly right, Sarah. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Lights are out on the pace truck. Austin John Smith's going to lead them to the green flag. We got two pretty fast drivers hooked up on that bottom side. First car on fresh tires is the 15 machine of Kinsley Smith. Pace truck's going to make that hard left-hand turn. And Austin John Smith will lead him to the restart zone. See how fast he restarts. Usually he's pretty quick on it. And he waits about halfway and he's down and away. It looks like Ben Wazler kind of spun his tires a little bit there. Madu's stuck in the high line. And here we go. Ben Wazler thought he was going to stay with Austin John Smith there, but pulls up in front of Daniel Honeycutt. And now they are hooked up. We'll see how that works out as Kinsley Smith has found Austin John Smith once again. Gary Madu's up on the high side, 3 cars back. Here we go. Looks like Andrew Teff made his pit stop, got 4 fresh tires, and is on that high line. Currently 4th back in that outside row. As we are all over the place up front, Kinsley Smith, Ben Wazler, and Honeycutt all kind of bouncing around here. Ben Wazler trying to find a spot that is comfortable for Honeycutt to give him a push to get up to the leaders. And it just doesn't look like those are meshing very well. You have that Toyota of Van Wazler and the Ford of Daniel Honeycutt, and they just don't seem to get along at all. And that is slowing that outside line down as Austin John Smith, Kinsley Smith are out in front here. They have hooked up once again. They were working that high line last time. They got down to the slow line, and now they are staying pretty tough down here. Like John Schollenbacher was trying to get a pretty good run there, just didn't really have anywhere to go. Ben Wazler is still bouncing around all over the place up here. Doesn't look like those are comfortable at all. Madu's looking to the inside, and it looks like Jeremy Carter said, I had enough of this. Jumps down out of the way and slides back up onto the track. Looks like we have one driver that has called it a night already. Jesse Fox. Still 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. They're rolling through here at Atlanta. Lap 21. Honeycutt goes to the outside, into the outside wall, slides in front of Madu. Madu checks up, hits the outside wall, and is slowing down, but no caution as they keep it going in the right direction here. Let's take a look here real quick. Let's go to Madu up here. You can see Honeycutt bouncing inside, outside, goes to the outside, hits the wall, slides down in front of Madu. Madu in front of Teft, and luckily carnage did not happen right there. We'll go back live now. They've single filed out for a little bit here. As Austin John Smith and Kinsley Smith are still hooked up. John Schlonbachler back there in third. Van Wazer in fourth. Timothy Hoke in that Tide machine is in fifth. Alex Teft is putting on some moves here. He spent an extended period of time in that pit box, got that truck running right, and now he is on the move. He is up to fifth position right now, sliding up behind the other Toyota in Jake Van Wazer. If they can get hooked up and work together, they might be a force here as Kinsley Smith starts bouncing around a little bit on the back bumper of Austin John Smith. This doesn't look like Van Wazer's truck likes being pushed, as he slowed down Alex Teft when he got in front of him. Van Wazer and Honeycutt now side by side. They're trying to make something here to get that outside line working to get back up towards the front. But so far, the second run has been all the Austin and Kinsley show here. It looks like there's going to be a little tough going here as John Schollenbachler and Timothy Hope down on that inside lane kind of bounce around a little bit. Jake Van Wazer was looking to make a pass and had his momentum stolen away as they started to side draft just a little bit. Let's see if we can jump on board the nose of the number 19 Toyota here. The gyro. So on board with Jake Van Wazer, working that outside lane. You can see how these guys are running here. Van Wazer and Teft are trying to get up side by side with the leaders, and it looks like they might be able to, as they have hooked up pretty well here. The two Toyotas on the outside, the two Chevys on the inside. Still trying to battle back here. Kinsley Smith trying to get the rear end of his truck out in front of Van Wazer to try and slow him down. Keep him behind him there. They're still hooked up, Teft and Van Wazer. Smith and Smith also hooked up pretty quick. David Davis working that high line with Gary Madu behind him. Daniel Honeycutt moved up there as well. Looks like Joshua Neal's back on the low line. Dennis Kane is a lap down of the leaders, but trying to make some time here. Dennis has got to kind of like what he's seeing up here with all these guys bouncing around. Increases the chances of him getting back on the lead lap here. But Smith and Smith are working pretty well together. We'll see how long they can work together, as it's not too big of a deal right now when you're talking, you know, more than 60 laps left to go. We'll all see what happens when it gets down to crunch time. Ooh, Hope got loose, almost got into. Looks like that's David Davis. No, that's, I guess it is David Davis or Dennis Kane. So Dennis Kane is definitely not coming into the right position at the moment. As almost looks like he's starting to become a magnet here. As Daniel Honeycutt moves up to the high side. Teft and Van Wazer dive down back in line. Trying to get a speed off the draft there and then pull out. But they're just too far apart at the moment. As Kinsley Smith, John Schollenbachler, and Austin John Smith kind of fan out, make it three abreast there as they come through turn 4. Dennis Kane ducks down back into line there on the bottom side. John Schollenbachler got up to the high side and is in front of Daniel Honeycutt. And it looks like he just got loose. And that is going to bring out a caution here. Kind of bouncing around all over the place here. Nothing really there. Honeycutt's trying to slow down. It looks like he doesn't really touch him, as he is already loose sliding down the track. And as he does that, bounces off of Hoke there. Both get turned into the outside wall. slide back down the track. Oh, looks like Dennis Kane just barely made it through. Joshua Neal also makes it through. And we are going to have full cell pit stops once again here. I mean, it's going to be pretty close to make it on one more stop. But we'll see what happens here. Not exactly sure of the fuel window. Kinsley Smith gets out in front of Austin John Smith. So they will still start on the front row. Ben Wazzer and Teft, row 2. David Davis and Gary Madu in row 3. Daniel Honeycutt, Joshua Neal, Andrew Teft, Crowell, and Jeremy Carter. So we'll see how this race is going to restart here, as Kinsley and Austin John are on the front row and not hooked up. We'll see if Kinsley concedes the lead and lets Austin slide down in front of him, or if they're going to battle back and forth, as we are going to be going green on lap 42 here. They go coming down the backstretch, all stacked up, ready to go. Kinsley Smith with the button. Looks like both rows got going just about the same. They head off into turn 1 here. Side by side. Smith and Smith. Van Wazzer down on the low side. Alex Teft up on the high side. Alex has shown a lot of speed after he made that first pit stop. Sitting P4 right now. Gary Madu also hanging out here inside the top 6. Been running inside that for most of the race here. And it looks like on that pit stop, everybody came down. Got 4 fresh tires. Smith and Van Wazzer now working that low line pretty well. Like Tef got a little loose behind Austin John Smith, which is going to slow that outside line down just a little bit, as everybody's kind of bouncing back and forth in the mid pack here. Ooh, looks like Kinsley Smith got loose in front of Van Wazzer. Slides up the racetrack, almost comes down. And he almost took out Austin John Smith. Austin Smith Looks like he might have caught the 9 of Schollenbachler there. He had to check up quite a bit, but Austin is now trying to race to the front here. Austin Smith goes to the high line, gets in front of David Davis and Kinsley Smith. On the low line, you have Van Wazer and Honeycutt and Madu. Corey Crowell made his way up here pretty quick as well. Joshua Neal hanging out in the 8th place. Everybody kind of spreads out a little bit here, coming through the start-finish line. Van Wazer and Honeycutt are pulling away now. Like Madu might be able to as well. David Davis, Kinsley Smith are hooked up. Austin John Smith's trying to get some more speed out of that 23 machine. Just can't quite get it, as he is stuck even with 3rd place on the inside line, which is Gary Madu. Daniel Honeycutt slides up in front of him, and here comes Austin Smith now. Austin John Smith is pushing Daniel Honeycutt towards the front, and he will take the lead. Van Wazer hits the apron, gets loose, goes sideways, almost is going to save it as he's battling the track a little bit there, but he stays green. That was a tremendous save there. Let's see if we can take another look at it here. While we here they come down the front stretch. Nothing too bad. He hits the apron there a little bit, then he gets a couple tires below. Madu's luckily able to slow down just enough to let him gather it in as he's able to go by. But he went from running up towards the front to now running P10 up front. Austin John Smith jumps down in front of Kinsley Smith. And they are back together as Honeycutt has David Davis giving him a shove towards the front. So as we have reached halfway, we're going to step aside for our first commercial break. We'll be back momentarily. You won't miss anything right here on Sim Racing Media. Welcome back, everybody, to Sim Racing Media and the Racers Elite Truck Series. Didn't miss too much while we were away there. You guys have been battling back and forth. Van Wazer was down to P10 after touching the apron and doing a little sideways drifting there, but he is now back up into P4, right behind John Schlonbachler. They're going to try and see if they can maybe make some magic here. But Daniel Honeycutt and David Davis are trying to work that outside line. Just doesn't seem to be coming to fruition here, as Andrew Teft is going to make the pass down on the low line. He's got Gary Madu behind him. Gary's been running towards the front most of the race. Now he is back into 7th, and it looks like these guys will be side by side for quite a while here, with Honeycutt and Teft and Madu and Davis. And Wazer goes down to the inside. Schlonbachler basically cuts his nose off. And he is lucky that that wasn't as close as it looked on this broadcast here. Hope goes down to the inside, stays on the apron, is just going to roll back there. Smith and Smith, though, are putting on a show. Austin, John Smith, Kinsley Smith back to the front most of the time here. And Wazer's just trying to get by the 9 machine. Can't seem to do it. Doesn't seem like he really wants to jump to that high line. But he might have to in order to get by this 9 machine. Andrew Teft is closing in behind him as well. I'm assuming if Van Wazer goes to the high line, Teft will probably follow if he can get a run here. Van Wazer jumped to the high side in front of Daniel Honeycutt, and they slide up almost into the wall, if not into the wall. Definitely not something they wanted to do as Van Wazer moved up. Andrew Teft is now up into P4 here on the bottom lane. Working our way through lap 63 of the 101 scheduled for the moment here. And Wazer and Honeycutt were hooked up pretty good there. See if they can make it work. And Wazer's just not able to get the push to get up there. Like he might be able to clear Schlonbachler now. But Honeycutt and Van Wazer just aren't quite closing in on. And as I say that, here they come to the front. Daniel Honeycutt gave one heck of a push there to Van Wazer, and they are side by side for the lead here. We should be getting within that window of making pit stops here. So they're probably going to try and get to lap 70 or thereabouts. Coming up on lap cars here. Looks like Daniel Honeycutt is going to leave Van Wazer out to dry here. Kinsley Smith goes down to the inside. And it looks like they're going to hit pit lane. Honeycutt's going to try and hit pit lane. We'll see how that worked out. As looked like Honeycutt might have had a unsafe pit entry. We'll see what happens here. Caution is out. See what happened. So take a look here at Honeycutt. Ah. Kinsley Smith goes down to the inside, going to make his run to pit lane. Honeycutt tries to make his from almost the middle lane. John Schollenbacher slows up. Gets hit by Madu. Schollenbacher slides up in front of Teft. David Davis gets rear-ended by Crowell. And Andrew Teft gets sent into the wall. Like Michael Smith might have made it through. Kirby Wainscott looks like he made it through. So we'll see how they have this restart here. Daniel Honeycutt coming down pit lane once again. So it gets stacked back up. We'll go green on lap 70 here. Put them up on the screen for you guys. I'm sure Dustin loves everybody cheering him on there. Greg and Declan. Pace truck is in. Van Wazer with the button. He'll wait almost to the last minute here as he gets going. Sails off into turn one. This is going to be a little bit different than what we've seen most of the race. Van Wazer on the inside. Austin John Smith up high. But neither one of them really have anybody who's helped push them there. I guess the closest would be Alex Teft to Van Wazer there. But the Teft brothers might be able to work together here as they are sitting second and third on that bottom row. See if Andrew's able to catch the back of Alex there and work their way through the field here. Looks like Daniel Honeycutt serving a penalty. .30 laps to go. Van Wazer and Smith. Madu giving Smith a push, and he is out pretty well here. he slides down in front of Van Wazer. Gonna kind of leave Madu out there almost by himself, but Kinsley Smith is running pretty well there. I'm sure Austin is trying to figure out a way to get back to Kinsley there. They work pretty well together earlier in the race. As Smith is now pushing Madu past Austin John Smith. Alex and Andrew Teft are going to be side by side momentarily in row 3. Down the front stretch they go. Madu's going to lead that lap. Kinsley Smith making that truck work overtime here. Andrew Teft just doesn't seem to be able to get that high line to kind of work, as he has faded back a little ways. Joshua Neal is trying to catch that back bumper of Alex Teft to get up here in that USSS machine. And don't look now, Dennis Kane, after being involved in the first caution, is up to P8, up 10 spots after starting shotgun on the field here. Kinsley Smith, Van Wazer, Gary Madu, Austin John Smith, all battling in this top 4. Throw a blanket over all of them. See which one is going to come out here a winner. Guys are still battling tight between them. Kinsley Smith almost gets a little loose, comes down. Madu, Smith and Van Wazer, Alex Teft, Joshua Neal, Dennis Kane, Jeremy Carter not running bad, up 10 spots as well. Andrew Teft faded back quite a little ways and now is behind Dennis Kane. See if these guys can work together. Got Kirby Wainscott back there as well. Justin Rogerson. Like Hoax coming down pit lane one more time. David Davis back here as well. .21 laps to go here. Just have to be careful when they start trying to make moves here later in the race, as Van Wazer almost went down below that red line again. He did it earlier and wound up fishtailing and drifting around the corner. The Mako, guess he did not win. He's not winning. The old adage, if you're not first, you're last. Well, he's not first. Austin John Smith makes his way around the lap traffic there. Gary Madu leading that outside lane, and Wazzer and Kinsley Smith in row 2. Alex Teff bottom of row 3. Dennis Kane trying to close in on that high line, started shotgun on the field and is up 12 spots now. Just driving the wheels off of that number 4 Ford right now. Andrew Teff behind him. Michael Smith back there as well. You see Van Wazzer kind of bouncing up and down. Kinsley Smith jumped down to get out from behind Madu. We'll see if he's going to cycle around as Madu comes in front of Alex Teff. We'll see if there's enough room for him to slide in, and just barely he does. See if Kinsley Smith's going to try and... Ooh, Van Wazzer down on the apron one more time. Now Kinsley Smith is going to roll up behind Austin John Smith. These two worked well earlier in the race, and I'm sure Austin is glad to see Kinsley pull up behind him. They're going to sail off down the backstretch. 1-2 once again. Gary Madu, Alex Teft, and Jake Van Wazzer all 3, 4, 5. Joshua Neal trying to get a couple spots here. Running inside the top 6 right at the moment. Dennis Kane 7th. You have Jeremy Carter and Andrew Teft running side by side for 8th position. Michael Smith and Corey Crowell trying to round out the top 10 here. But Austin John Smith and Kinsley Smith, 15 laps to go, are hooked up and are going to try and finish what they started earlier in the race here. Coming up on another lapped car here. See which way they're able to get by. Take a view here from Kinsley Smith's roof cam. That's Daniel Honeycutt rolling around here after having a dynamic entry into pit lane. Move down the backstretch one more time. 13 laps to go. Kinsley Smith trying to get some air on the nose of that 15 machine. David Davis stays high. Justin Rogerson stays high as well. Leaders all down on the bottom of the track, headed down the backstretch. The Corey Crowell slid up and got stuck behind the lappers there. $11 laps to go here Smith, Madu, Teft, Van Wazer, and Neal round out that top 6. Bullenbacher headed to pit lane for another pit stop here. Back here, they're battling side by side a little ways. Andrew Teft trying to get some ground and some momentum here, just is not working out as he is faded back to 10th position right now. Burwell kind of bounced around, gonna go to the I say was gonna try and go to the inside of Michael Smith, but now he slides up almost in front of Andrew Teft, but turns back down and stays with Honeycutt here. 8 laps to go. Austin John Smith looking to go back to back here. We'll see how close they are on fuel here. Looks like everybody's going to come in for a splash and go. We'll see how they make it through their pit boxes here. Alex Teft now leading the race. So everybody came to pit lane except for Alex Teft. 6 laps to go. Alex last pit on lap 67. I think it's probably going to be pretty close on fuel. Everybody else came in, so Alex is coming in this time. Austin John Smith just getting past Andrew Teft there. Five laps to go. Alex Teft off pit road, but he has just been passed by Austin John Smith, Van Wazer, Gary Madu, Andrew Teft, and we'll see if Corey Crawwell can do it as well. Van Wazer is all over the back bumper of that 23 Chevy with 5 laps to go. Hensley Smith coming back down pit lane. Looks like he must have sped or something as like a pit road penalty there. Four laps to go. Austin John Smith, Jake Van Wazer. We will see how these final 3 laps are going to go as they come down the backstretch one more time here. Andrew Teft, Gary Madu trying to catch him. 2 to go. Popsicle sticks in the air. Austin John Smith, Jake Van Wazer. 1, 2. Madhu and Andrew Teft trying to close in here. They are, but will it be enough? You know Van Wazer's going to try and make the pass for the win. See how long he holds on. And it looks like Andrew Teft kind of slowed up a little bit there. Has a little bit bigger gap to Gary Madhu. We'll see if he's going to be able to close in here. As now Madhu's getting pulled around. Stays with Austin. Van Wazer all over the back bumper here. As they spread out, coming through 3 and 4. Van Wazer spins him. And it looks like Andrew Teft is going to win the race. Let's go back and take a look at that. So Andrew Teft hanging back here in 4th. Van Wazer goes down to the inside. Let's jump up there. Madhu touches Van Wazer. Van Wazer goes to the high side and then turns down and spins Austin. Van Wazer go to the middle here. And he sees the 59 sliding down, so he goes to turn down. Thoughts he was clear. Gets the 23 machine there. And as they're sliding back and forth, Andrew Teft stays clean and is going to bring home the victory here from Atlanta. Jake Van Wazer is able to roll through in 2nd, Gary Madhu in 3rd. Oh, let's see here what we can do. We can get Gary up here. Booth. Gary, Mike up in the booth. How's it going, man?
Hey, my brother. How you doing, Mike?
No, not too bad. Hey, heck of a race. You ran up front for quite a ways. Looked like you were going to have a chance there to win the race. How was it racing this new circuit here?
I prefer the old one. This is just a mini-me super speedway. So, I mean, it's fun. Don't get me wrong, but I like, the old one, especially that turn 1 and turn 2. But hey, I drive what they give me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, heck of a run. Glad to see you back out here on the track again. Anybody want to thank for this P3 finish before I get you out of here?
Yeah, just, the KISS Chevy car, my company sponsors, Go Aces, Lucky Dog Inc., my business partner, Mike Schreiner, my kids, grandkids. It was a really fun race, man. Loved running with you guys. I'll be back for some more, but this time you'll be interviewing me in P1.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats again, and I'll talk to you later.
Oh, Canada, baby, and also peace in Israel, okay, brothers?
Yep. Let's see here. Let's get Jake, how's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Well, that was a heck of a race there. Looked like it got a little close there at the end, which caused that caution there. But heck of a race, bouncing around here at Atlanta. How was it? How was it looking from your point of view out there?
It was a fun race, other than almost spinning out, hitting the apron there, and then there at the end, I was trying to get a run and go high and cross him over. And as I crossed him over, I just got him in the right rear, so that was unfortunate. But ended up second, so can't be too mad. But wish we could have raced Austin to the finish there instead of letting Andrew come by and win.
Definitely, it looked like you were you had that set up, and that lap car kind of squeezed it a little bit, but heck of a race anyway. Made a last lap move that you have to kind of do here at these super speedway-ish tracks. But you get quite a few points here. Kind of sucks for Austin finishing P10, but kind of get you a few more points here in the championship race. I mean, how do you feel about the rest of the season here?
I think we got Michigan maybe next, so kind of another drafting style track. Just try to get out in clean air and hopefully stay there. But I mean, we'll see. We got to get there, and just happy with top 5 again. So looking forward to next week.
Definitely, man. Anybody want to thank before I get you out of here tonight?
Just for everybody that helps out in the league and puts this on, and then I have a couple buddies that watch and tune in every Tuesday. So shout out for them.
Definitely, man. Well, I will talk to you maybe next week.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike.
Yep. All right. Let's see if we can get our race winner up in here. Hey, Andrew, how's it going, man?
Still in shock.
Well, I can definitely see that. It looked like he must have had a lucky rabbit's foot or something, because you just seem to be at the right place at the right time, staying down low, staying out of that last lap or last corner incident there, and we're able to bring home the win. How was the racing out there overall?
I thought it was really respectful. I was toward the back, just kind of hanging out at certain points, and I'd see guys get in trouble up front, and everybody would check up. The entire field gave a lot of room, so I was really impressed with that. I think the pit stop there kind of shook up the pack at the end, but was able to get a really good pit entry, really roasting the tires. I don't think I could have got any more there. And then my wheels were actually damaged from the wreck before that. I used my fast repair, but forgot to take tires. So my wheels were awful. So I'm surprised all around that, one, I made it, and two, that giant wreck happened. And yeah, I don't even know what to say, but it was fun.
Definitely, man. It was definitely entertaining. At least the last part of the race, you guys had a couple incidents, but other than that, it was a pretty good race. You guys put on a show, as you do every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But anybody want to thank before I get you out of here?
Yeah, you as always. I hope we gave you a lot to talk about tonight. I'm sure we did, but our servicemen and women, everybody that tunes in to watch and shows up to race, thank you. Can't do it without you. And if anybody's interested in racing, just head on over to racerselite.com. You'll find an invite to our Discord server there. We'll get you all set up.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats, and I will. I'd say I talk to you later in the week, but I will not. I'll talk to you probably next Tuesday.
All right. Enjoy.
Yep. Later, man. So that will do it here from the Racers Elite Truck Series. Let's go ahead and bring up the race results. Andrew Teft, Jake Vinwalzer, Barry Madu, 1, 2, 3. Corey Crowell battled back to finish P4. Alex Teft in 5th. Jeremy Carter in 6th. Joshua Neal in 7th. Dennis Kane with a P8 after starting shotgun on the field. Kirby Wayne Scott, Michael Smith, Austin Smith, Dustin Rogerson, David Davis, John Schollenbachler, and Kinsley Smith round out that top 15. Daniel Honeycutt in 16th. Timothy Hoke in 17th. Jesse Fox rounds out the 18 that took part here in Atlanta. So that being said, from all the drivers of the Racers Elite Truck Series and all of us here at Sim Racing Media, I want to say goodnight, and I will talk to you next time.